Dr. Brian Carr, he is the chairman of the Board of Health, which the city council absolutely loves the Board of Health. They listen to the Board of Health. They treat the Board of Health like another division of the city council. They listen to recommendations from the Board of Health. Dr. Brian Carr also sort of writes a blog for the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Now, the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, they tell everybody we are not responsible for the content on our website. We're not responsible. Oh my gosh, we're not responsible. People can go crazy. And they do have Carol Morgan writing for them. People can go crazy on our blogs, and we're not responsible whatsoever. Well, that's kind of a chicken-ass way of getting out of it, if you ask me. But Brian Carr, he got online folks, this was posted at like 10 o'clock at night. So I don't know if he maybe had a drink beforehand or what, but he got online and he posted an article that, takes a swipe at a few people. And we'll read it now. Just in case you probably haven't read it. Not a lot of people do. But his writing, Social Darwinism Let the Weak Drop Off. Dr. Brian Carr of the Lubbock Board of Health writes, clarity is important and those who can't survive should drop off. And then he takes a swipe at KFYO's Robert Pratt. Robert Pratt, instructive and clear in his directive, joining with Senator Perry. Uh-oh. Now he's going after Texas Senator Charles Perry. He offers a path of direction for those who are in the minority or disabled. Tune in to 790 AM. Well, let me just say this. First of all, Dr. Brian Carr, thank you for being one of the only people over at the Avalanche Journal to actually mention KFYO by name or station number. We appreciate that. Thank you. But I guess he's not really meaning it as a nice thing. Tune in to 790 AM. Learn how to rid ourselves of the feeble food stamps, just feeding and harboring those who don't, quote, cut the standard. They deserve to drop off so we can be stronger. Gays are to be shot through the head. The hell? Jody, has anybody said shoot gay people in the head? Here on KFYO?
Not on KFYO, no.
Okay, I don't think so. Well, that's pretty drastic right there. I mean, that's ISIS level. That's ISIS level stuff right there. Maybe Brian Carr had a little too much to drink and he was watching ISIS or something. I don't know. Gays are to be shot through the head, writes Dr. Brian Carr. Poor are to be released on their own sorrow. When 4-year-old children experience their skulls being crushed, it is unfortunate, but no funding can be provided because we should only arm for good. Senator Perry, the blood is on your hands. Thank the Lord for those who will delivery. Again, I think he was having a little drink. Thank the Lord for those who will deliver us from evil of the compassion of Jesus. The hell is he writing about? Seriously, does anybody know? I am asking the callers, do you know what the hell Brian Carr is writing about? I have no idea. I have read pieces of legislation that Charles Perry has filed. He hasn't talked about shooting gay people in the head, nor has he talked about crushing 4-year-old skulls in. Last time I checked. Robert Pratt, I'm not always able to listen all day to KFYO, but last time I checked, Robert Pratt hasn't talked about shooting gay people in the head. I know I haven't talked about it. I'm pretty sure Tom and Laura haven't talked about it. And Hannity, well, Hannity's real nice. He's not going to talk like that. Rush won't talk like that. I'm not sure what Brian Carr's doing.
Maybe he's taking the Christian approach to legalizing marijuana.
No, I don't even think you can get that high. And again, and then he finishes, Senator Perry, the blood is on your hands. Thank the Lord for those who will deliver us from the evil of the compassion of Jesus. Is he saying Jesus is evil? Is that what? Dr. Carr, And I don't know if Dr. Carr is listening right now. Next time you post, I'm just going to give you some friendly advice, okay? Next time you post on the Avalanche Journal's website, please don't have anything to drink before you do. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that he had something to drink before he posted, because honestly, you cannot be sober and post something like that. You just can't, unless you are a crazy person. Unless you are absolutely nuts, I don't think you can post anything like that. Now, again, tune in, Robert Pratt, instructive and clear in his directive, joining with Senator Perry, offers a path of direction for those who are minority or disabled. That doesn't even make sense. There's a lot of grammatical errors here in this post. Tune in to 790 AM and learn how to rid ourselves of the feeble. Food stamps are just feeding into harboring those that don't, quote, cut the standard. They deserve to drop off so we can be stronger. This is where I think he takes another shot of whatever he's drinking. Gays are to be shot through the head. Poor are to be released on their own sorrow. When 4-year-old children experience their skulls being crushed, it is unfortunate, but no funding can be provided because we should only arm for good. Jody, do you know what he's saying? Is he just rambling here?
He's rambling, all right.
Okay, I don't know. Senator Perry, the blood is on your hands. Thank the Lord for those who will deliver us from evil. This is my favorite line. Thank the Lord for those who will deliver us from evil, of the compassion of Jesus. This guy's lost his ever-loving mind. Or he was drunk and posted on the AJ's website. And I hope, for Brian Carr's sake, that maybe he had gotten into a bottle of whiskey or something. I'm sorry, that's Brian Carr talking about. An umbrella drink. I'm hoping that maybe a few too many pina coladas. Maybe he lost the Sally Jesse Raphael glasses. He was upset with himself. He was very mad. He was upset about Senator Charles Perry, having power, unlike, Brian Carr. I don't know. It's something. If you're on hold, stay where you are. I would love to figure this out with you, listeners. Because, again, maybe I've missed where KFYO has instructed people to shoot gay folks in the head or to crush the skulls of 4-year-olds. Maybe I've missed it. 770-5790, toll free, 1-800-687-0790. You know what I think we need to do? I think we need to invite Dr. Brian Carr up to the new studio and just have like an intervention.
I think that would be a great idea.
We can invite Carol. I'm going to take the day off, but we'll invite Carol Morgan. Jody, you handle it between Carol Morgan and Dr. Brian Carr and whoever else from Westboro we need to invite, because they're on the same level. And we can just have a big intervention, and it'll be okay. Maybe we can help Brian Carr get through all this. Rick, thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Yeah, this is... I do feel bad there for Brian Carr. I don't know what he got himself into, but posting on the AJ's website, and then the AJ taking the chicken ass way out of it by saying we're not responsible. Dr. Brian Carr, they post a little warning. Dr. Brian Carr responsible for this content, which is not edited by the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. It is on your website. You are still responsible. And I think if I were to post this crap on KFYO.com, I'm pretty sure it would be taken down at some point. I mean, this just doesn't make any sense at all. Dr. Brian Carr's final line. Thank the Lord for those who will deliver us from evil, of the compassion of Jesus. Dr. Brian Carr. On Twitter, Jared sent in a picture. Now, Jared, the only problem with is He's not that kind of doctor, but otherwise, he has a picture of a doctor smoking a cigarette, got some scissors in his hands, he's got a drink. Thank the Lord for delivery us from pizza and KFYO. Cheers. Yes. That's Dr. Brian Carr. Now, the AJ, of course, they take no responsibility whatsoever for this. And this is how the AJ gets around all the crap that's posted by not only Carr, but that one lady, Carol, where they continue, just all the time comparing Republicans to Nazis, Tea Partiers, crazy people. And, the AJ, it was all, didn't Carol Morgan accuse Rick Perry of something a while back? I don't know. It's like they just get online and post whatever the hell they want. They just make it up. And the AJ says, well, we don't have any responsibility, but that's the kind of news organization they run over there, I guess. There's some good people over at the AJ. I feel bad for them sometimes. I really do. I do feel bad for a couple of them. Because their organization, I don't know. I don't get it. Half the made up stuff they post under the name of the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, by the way. Some of the things that are posted there just gets people in trouble, I think. If someone wanted to take it far enough, I think they could get maybe in a little bit of trouble. But under net neutrality now and the FCC, who knows? Maybe the FCC will have something to say about the Lubbock Avalanche Journal blogs at some point. Maybe. It is possible. Welcome to our world in radio, where the FCC comes knocking on your door. 770-5790, toll free, 1-800-687-0790. We will also continue to take your phone calls on this, just in case you have any idea whatsoever about what Brian Carr was talking about. Nobody really does, I think. But, maybe you want to offer up an explanation. Who knows? Maybe Brian Carr wants to call in. Just admit that, it was a long night. He was very upset. Maybe he had a couple drinks. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he just flipped out. Who knows? It is entirely possible. But again, this is also a guy who is your chairman of the Board of Health, who this city council and future city councils will continue to kick very important decisions to. And this is why it's very important to pay attention to what your elected officials do locally, who they appoint to these different boards, because it does matter. Who they appoint to these different boards, it can have an impact on your life. And there are some members of the city council, not all, but there are some members of the city council that seem to be more invested in what the Board of Health says than others. They typically lean to the left. Pull a little Brian Carr and drink a little bit and post about the bunker on KFYO.com. What do you think? Good idea, bad idea? It's probably a bad idea. They always say, do not drink and then get on Twitter. Things can go downhill in a hurry if you get a little tipsy and get on social media. Well, according to Brian Carr's latest blog, and I would love to know maybe if he did have a few drinks, because that would again be the only rational way he could explain it. If you missed the discussion over Brian Carr, why? What's wrong, Jody? You think we're being mean to the good doctor? No. Dr. Brian Carr posted on the Lubbock Avalanche Journal's website, under their blogs, the Lubbock Avalanche Journal, they do not accept any responsibility whatsoever. Whenever Dr. Brian Carr or, what's her name? I keep forgetting her name. Carol, whatever her last name is. Carol Morgan. Whenever she posts a blog about crazy stuff, they, and it's getting to a point now where I think they're just making it up. But the AJ, of course, apparently a news organization there, says that they have no responsibility over the content that is posted on their website, which is amazing to me that they have no say in it at all. But Dr. Brian Carr, who is your chairman, Board of Health here in the city of Lubbock, who actually received votes in his race against Karen Gibson. And some of you out there actually liked Brian Carr over Karen Gibson. And I'm not going to hold it over you forever, but you know who you are. And Brian Carr wrote this just the other night after 10 o'clock, so I don't, maybe he had a couple of drinks, you never know. He wrote, clarity is important. Those who can't survive should drop off. Robert Pratt is instructive and clear in his directive. Joining with Senator Perry, he offers a path of direction for those who are minority or disabled. Which again, grammatically there are a few issues, but I'm going to let those slide. And I mean, I don't know what all Pratt's been talking about lately, but this doesn't sound like some of the things that he would say. Then Carr goes off on just KFYO in general. Tune in to 790 AM to learn how to rid ourselves of the feeble. Food stamps are just feeding into harboring those who don't cut the standard. They deserve to drop off so we can be stronger. Gays are to be shot through the head. Now, this is where I think he took another shot of tequila or something. Gays are to be shot through the head. Poor are to be released on their own sorrow. When 4-year-old children experience their skulls being crushed, it is, quote, unfortunate, but no funding can be provided because we should only arm for good. Then he goes after Senator Perry again. Senator Charles Perry, I'm assuming it's Senator Charles Perry. Senator Charles Perry, the blood is on your hands. And this is just the perfect way of wrapping up Dr. Brian Carr's blog. This is his actual sentence here. Thank the Lord for those who will deliver us from evil. I'm almost reading this like Al Sharpton. Thank the Lord for those who will deliver us from the evil of the compassion of Jesus. So I think Brian Carr is calling Jesus evil there. Right? Am I reading that right, Jody? Brian Carr wrote this like Al Sharpton would say this on MSNBC through a teleprompter. 770-5790, toll free 1-800-687-0790. Let's go to the phones. And Steve, you're on KFYO, live from the KFYO bunker.
And I'm glad you guys have made it to the bunker.
Yeah.
In the words of the great Conan O'Brien, you know what's coming next, right?
No, don't sing it, man. We've almost gotten through a show. Don't do it.
Morons, incompetent morons. I am trying to figure out how do they get a doctorate degree with a mindset and I'm not trying to, it's not anything personal, except when you do something that's personally that ignorant, I'm sorry. I mean, first of all, his man card should be gone right off the bat.
Well,
I think this violates everything known to what would make him a man.
What? He's just blogging.
Well, but I know personally, and I'm not going to say the name of the person,
okay,
but I know personally people who have been blocked from getting onto that blog at the Avalanche Wiper Journal. Yes.
Really?
Yes, sir. So you tell me how they can say, well, it's we have nothing to do about who posts on there. Well, somebody's having a control over it, because if you post something negative about the Avalanche Wiper Journal, then you get blocked.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, they don't have any control over Brian Carr. Brian Carr, I guess, Dr. Brian Carr could, and he's done it before, I think, in my opinion, just post outright lies on his blog. And the
Well,
HA
yeah.
would be okay with it.
Well, all I can say is this was a good way to end the Friday because this gives us a lot of food for thought of the people that are leading our quote unquote leading in our community.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Hey, Steve,
Okay.
thanks for the call. Appreciate it, man.
You bet. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too. Well, that's not good there from Dr. Brian Carr. I don't know what Charles Perry did. I really don't know. I have no idea what Charles Perry did there to have blood on his hands.